Breaking news. The saga of Julian Assange continues. How many years has this guy been sitting in solitary confinement? We're learning today that Julian Assange was spied upon 24 hours a day. They were hiding microphones in the woman's bathroom. They were watching him non-stop, torturing him in solitary confinement. How many years has it been? What are we talking about here, ladies and gentlemen? It seems like the inconvenient witnesses that have evidence against this deep state, they're all disappearing. Whether it be Julian Assange or Epstein, whether it be Michael Hastings, Andrew Breitbart, the guy from Gray State, many others. What's going on with all of these journalists being shut down and silenced in America? You know, we're literally working on our 20th page. What's going on out there, ladies and gentlemen? What happened to America? It's much worse than it seems. We are up against spiritual wickedness, a cult of evil. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the pages of the Bible playing out before your very eyes. And, just about every politician, celebrity, CEO, and many of the sheeple out there on the street have been body snatched by demonic forces. And as difficult as that might be to believe, the sooner you wake up to that reality, the sooner you'll have woken up, ladies and gentlemen. Many people claim to be awake, but they just don't know what they're waking up to. It's literally like the movie They Live Out There, and it's going to look like Soylent Green before long, where everybody is just basically out there on the streets eating other people, ladies and gentlemen. What are the secrets of this deep state? What are they planning? Anyone that's seen the Georgia Guidestones knows too well. Anyone that's seen these Luciferian after-school programs where they're indoctrinating children into the LGBT platform knows quite well that these people are up to no good, to say the least. But if you're just joining us, Assange was spied upon 24 hours a day. Hopes of a rescue are dwindling. And it won't be long before Assange becomes like Epstein. And, people will just continue on with their daily lives. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't seem to matter if the truth is being exposed or not out there anymore. People want to watch the football. They want to play the video games. They want to get dosed by the 5G. They want to eat the pesticides, the GMOs. They want their vaccines, ladies and gentlemen. They want you to tell them lies. They're hopelessly lost to this matrix, and they've been body snatched, ladies and gentlemen. Undoubtedly, there's much to be said about this beast system in all of its forms, but it's only going to get worse as time goes on, and as people are focusing in on the Ukraine situation, or perhaps other stories like what's going on in Iran. They're certainly not talking about the missing witnesses, the Gladio B events, all of the victims out there, the shady links between, this president, former presidents, presidential candidates, and the occult. Ladies and gentlemen, New York, New Babylon. It's just a matter of time before this spills out on the streets. Patriots and Christians can already feel the walls closing in around them. And the situation is looking worse and worse out there. Never forget to organize, to continue on, with this battle locally. But again, we're fighting a spiritual battle. And, just fighting it in terms of a physical war isn't going to rid us of this invasion. And the answer is right there in the Bible. Preaching the Bible, saving souls, that's where the war is at. And that's why they're spending so much time in public schools trying to indoctrinate and sexualize your children. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a war for hearts and souls out there. And right now, as long as people are focusing on endless wars and spy novels and the like, we're certainly not going to get any further in this battle. You'd think they would have redone education. You'd think they would have put in place term limits, ladies and gentlemen. Instead, they've tried to bribe everyone with tax cuts and jobs so that you won't be thinking about the big picture, so that you won't be asking the real questions out there. And, it's a sad day for journalism. It's a sad day for free speech. Every day that goes by that, Zuckerberg is not in prison, that Julian Assange is in prison, that's a wonderful day for the dark side, to say the least. We got a lot of news to cover. And, of course, we're starting at zero once again in terms of what's going on out there, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see what happened to our, there we go, video guy. But we're starting at zero. Like and share, let people know where we're at. Who remembers this guy? Who remembers all the journalists, all the other people that have been fighting this fight as hard as they could, and now they seem to have been forgotten and replaced by the mainstream news. There's a suspect out there, gender fluid, assigned male at birth, wearing non-gender specific clothing, born Caucasian, but now identifies as a libtard. Here's some of the new spin of the day. ABC's bombshell story falls apart according to desperate cult members out there. And, they're trying to pretend like this story didn't happen. And they're focusing on parodies of Adam Schiff or, extra stories from ABC. But at the core are the transcripts. At the core are the witnesses that saw and heard for themselves the attempted interference of the 2020 campaign. Is it a huge deal to investigate criminals? No, but is it illegal to use your office for personal gain? That seems to be the question, ladies and gentlemen. We released a couple videos, short videos, earlier today, talking about the tainted food, the eugenics program. Be sure to check that out, as well as a rampaging elk that just, plowed and bowled over some poor unsuspecting sheeple out there in the park. Check out those videos. Everybody is about to get chipped. Every animal out there, cat or dog, let us say, has already received your chips. If you're ready to chip your pet, how long is it going to take you before you accept chipping yourself? And, they're conditioning people, baby stepping them, moving the Overton window closer to getting the chip themselves. And you've seen the biohacking, you've seen the transhumanists. It's only a matter of time before this all gets out of hand. They're saying that WhatsApp and Facebook will be forced to reveal encrypted messages from terror suspects and pedophiles. Of course, you are the terrorist. But how are they going to sift through all of that encrypted material, all those encrypted messages, to forward terror-related materials and pedophile-related materials? How do they do that? They do that because there is no such thing as encryption. There is no such thing as privacy. And they just, call their services that so that you'll let down your guard. And everybody should lighten their digital footprint for the very simple reason is that, it's all being compiled to be used against you. And, it's little reports like this that just kind of, expose it for what it is. Of course, the idea sounds wonderful. Yes, send the encrypted messages from terror suspects and pedophiles to the FBI. But that means they're going through all of the encrypted messages, which means they're not encrypted at all. So there you go. And of course, they'll continue on to tell you how, how much they care about your privacy. They care, all right, because they're going to use it to plug your ass into the matrix, and that process has already begun. They want you living in the virtual world instead of the real world. And I mean, when you go out there and you see how many people are on their phones these days, they don't talk to each other anymore. They send messages to one another. And, you know, I feel sorry for people that have to grow up like this. And I'm thankful that, you know, that I spent most of my life without a cell phone. I mean, even today, to be honest with you. Ladies and gentlemen, ditch the smartphone. Who remembers Francophobia? Who remembers the freedom fries? Anybody remember that? Well, of course, that president has passed on, and the way they treated him after his presidency was rather despicable. And it seemed like the New World Order basically had its revenge, ladies and gentlemen. They're talking about it's raining gasoline in France after a huge refinery blew up and sent plumes of smoke into the atmosphere. Now, we saw similar scenes in Houston and Texas over and over again, and the television always tells you the same thing. It's okay. It's safe out there. Don't worry. Literally, the thing's burning, and they're telling people, everything's gonna be okay. Go out there, go to Disneyland, enjoy the outdoors. Now people are complaining about terrible odors, nausea, throwing up, and the like. And it seems like there's a mini Chernobyl brewing right now in France, and this is a story that just really hasn't made the international press, but it seems like the contamination is huge. Raining gasoline, raining, black rain, they say. And there's quite a bit of footage on this out there. It's all on our Twitter feed, by the way. You can find that in the video description. Meet the guy collecting artwork from serial killers. They keep running this story. Product placement for the devil, of course, and just like the television, the music, the movies, etc. And we've done our research into serial killers, and they've always got that same thing in common: Luciferianism, the absence of light. They're anti-Christian by nature, and this is why they advocate for the murder of children and want to call it a choice. They want everybody to be a serial killer. They want everybody to be a Luciferian. And they start indoctrinating your children, with the Santa Claus, with devolution, and it just, turns into what we see out there today. The mindless masses of sheeple just pounding away at their phones, curled up in a ball in anxiety, drifting through the Facebook feed. And it's just, it's just terrible to see humanity just rendered to an accessory to an iPhone. You're basically now an accessory to your smartphone. EPA silent as dicamba drift rages on. Of course, with all of the farmlands out there, if you're not living in the city, then you're probably living, near the farmlands. And all of this stuff just kind of sprays on in on top of everything else, the geoengineering, the fluoride, the vaccines, the other eugenics programs. But this drifts on in. It's on everything you eat. If the bugs eat your food, they die, but it's okay for you, they say. Our food is illegal in most other countries. Our standards are much, much worse than other countries. You don't even know what you're eating, especially with like the hot dogs and the McDonald's. I mean, it's just mystery meat, pink slime. One burger can be like from 1,000 different cows. And you're probably, not eating real meat. You're probably eating like the testicles or something. Any case, here's a real big, huge story. Over 6,000 dead children from puberty-blocking drugs for transgender children. And this, this story needs to be followed up on. But, they're trying to brainwash kids into thinking that, you know, they're the opposite gender. They give them these drugs and it just fucks them up forever. You know, literally. You should see the freaks out there. You know, right now on Fox, they're featuring a 6-year-old trans boy wearing bondage. And if they pass puberty, they turn into this. This is supposed to be a girl, but it kind of looks like, you know, a dude, right? And they want to parade out there. They want to parade 11-year-old girls topless out there in public, and everybody topless, you know, nude and sexualized and, you know, gender dysphoric. So it's, you know, quite a future out there. Seems like transgender killings are on the rise this year, and it's probably due to the fact that, you know, you go to the bar, you think it's a girl, and the next morning you realize it was a dude. You just don't recover from that. The idea of two men plowing each other is disturbing, and, you know, the whole thing is a mental illness that propagates, you know, a mental illness, and it should be illegal. Not to be mean, but really to protect those that aren't mentally ill. And there should be, you know, a warning label on, you know, those that are, you know, suffering from mental illness. But of course, you don't get the label. You just get to figure it out later after the hello, you know. And that's usually a tip-off. And anybody that, you know, addresses you with hell and low is probably bad fucking news. I'm gonna tell you, if they haven't gotten that far in their way of thinking, then, you know, good luck with the rest of it. We'll leave it there for this broadcast. Be sure to check out our website, stfnreport.com. It's an automated desktop feed. Works better that way. You really don't want to be on your smartphones at all. You want to give up the Wi-Fi. You want to be 5 feet away from a transmitter. You want to use an Ethernet cable and turn off the Wi-Fi on your router. And you want to be at least, you know, 5 feet away from that due to the electric field. So, you know, start equipping yourself and, you know, stay away from tourist traps. Wherever the tourists go, the death towers are there pointed right at the people. You know, we're just telling you from experience. We've been able to measure quite a bit out there. And, of course, you know, avoid anything and everything that's from a factory, especially in America. I mean, you're just getting the worst of it. Growth hormones, neurotoxins, you know, gender-bending chemicals and the like. It's there to fuck you up. And sure, it tastes, you know, it tastes okay. And they say it's safe because it doesn't kill you immediately. But it's part of the slow kill program, ladies and gentlemen. Investigate Hillary, investigate Obama is ISIS, and, you know, investigate this Democrat from New York that just recently became a Republican. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.